Hello and welcome to this tutorial about how to install a modded Minecraft server such as like Sevtech, Project Ozone, literally any mod pack onto an unRaid server using MineOS. Now, I have not seen any YouTube videos basically explaining how to do this, and it took me like 10 hours to do it. So I'm going to preface this and say I don't have any editing software to cut this down at all, so it might be long because I might not. Actually, there is a pause button. I might be able to pause it, but I don't know. If you have to skip through the installing parts of things, just do that. Anyways, as long as this video it'll probably be worth it to sit through the whole thing and watch how I do this, because the amount of time it's going to take you to read through forms and documentations, otherwise it's going to take forever. Anyways, let's get started. So I have unRaid up here. If you don't already have the community applications plugin installed, you'll have to do that. You basically go to install plugin and paste the URL. I don't know the URL, but if you literally just look up community applications plugin for unRaid, it's super simple. That's not too hard. So after you install that in your unRaid thing, up at the top here, you'll get an apps button here, and then if you go over here and search for MineOS, I'm going to be using this one, not this one with the bin hex. I tried this one. This one was it was weird. Just use this one, following along with me. So you can click this button here, and then it's going to add a container to your Docker here. So I'm just gonna, if I say I'm sorry, I'm really gonna try not to. Anyways, so leave this. I did it again. 255.653 here. These are just the ports. Now you're going to need, at least you can host multiple servers and run multiple at a time. But you're going to need to make sure that you port forward as many. So by default, make sure you port forward 255.65, and you need to make sure you port forward 8443, because that's going to allow you to access the web UI that you need to make your server with. If you don't know how to port forward, just Google YouTube tutorial for that. It's different for every router. It's usually the same, or not the same, but it's similar way of doing it across routers, but just look up a tutorial for your specific router brand if you don't know how. There's tons of tutorials out there for that. Next thing you have to change here is this probably won't, or yeah, change this. So I'm going to change, or you don't have to change this, but I have my own file structure path here. Give me just a second. I forgot to actually, let me try the pause feature here. Alright, I'm back. I had to fix my directories. Alright, so in my root here, I guess in unRaid, so on the shares, I have a folder called servers, which I'm using for Minecraft servers. And if I bring it over here, I'm just browsing into my unRaid servers, and I have a folder that I've called Minecraft, and then I want to install I want the servers to be installed in this Minecraft area. You can do it however you want. You can lay out your file directory however you please. Doesn't really matter, as long as you know where everything is. It's fine. So if we go, we'll have to go back into apps. That was my mistake. So if you go back into here, click on this. So in this area, I'm going to change my directory. So you can just use the clicky buttons here. Now I'm going to select servers, Minecraft, and that's where I want my Minecraft files to be, in that Minecraft folder I made. The port stays the same, like I said. This is going to be your password. If you pay attention up here, also, the default username is MC. And then I'm just going to make the password literally just password. Because it's my personal server, no one's on the network besides really me. So Data path, this is used for like denmap and stuff. Honestly, I don't really know what it's for or if it's used that often, but I usually just go into my Minecraft directory here and I create a folder called extras. And then I'm just going to put that stuff in there. What have I done? Alright. This, don't change this. That's for like the den map thing I was talking about. If you don't know what that is, it's like a map that you can view your whole world on, like on the web. I've never set one up. And then everything else leave the same. After that, you make sure this is checked, just click apply. And now it's going to start pulling the image. Just wait here until it finishes. Also, the pause thing works, so I can pause this and then I'll be back once it's done. Alright, we're back. So after it finishes, you should see this, and it should say command finished successfully. So you click done, go back to Docker. Now you should have MineOS-Node. If you click on the icon here, you'll be able to click Web UI. Might bring this up, just click Advanced and click Proceed. Now, if this isn't popping up for you, make sure you have port forwarded that 8443 port. Otherwise, it won't come up. It won't be able to find it. If you have port forwarded that and this doesn't come up for you, I don't know how to fix that. I never had that problem. So, anyways, put your task. Ignore that. Sorry. MC as the default username. Password is going to be password. And go ahead and log in. And it should bring you to this page. Alright, so once you're in the main area here, you're going to go down to create new server. Also, if you look in your directory of Minecraft, refresh it, should have all these files in here now. And your servers are going to be made in this servers folder. So if you go back to here, you can't see that right. Okay, yeah. Alright. Server name, I'm going to be using an existing server that I already have that I used to run off of my main PC, but I'm trying to port it over to my server now. And that is Sevtech. So I'm just going to call the server name Sevtech. Server port, it can be whatever you want. I'm just going to use 25565, that's the default. Make sure you leave this as zeros, don't put anything there. Max players, you can change this how you want. You can pretty much leave all this stuff the same. And game mode, I'm just going to do... Stuff doesn't really matter. Well, it matters if you're making a server, but if you're copying over all of the files from an existing server that you have like on Windows, like if you were to make a... This is mainly if you made a mod pack on Windows and you have all of the files that you need. I'm just pasting it all in there. So all of the stuff's really already set in my server.properties. So making all of this is basically going to create stuff in your server.properties, but it's not super important if you're just copying, if you're going to overwrite the file anyways. Either way, click create server once you're done, and then it should have a thing down here for your new server. If you click on it, and it'll say currently selected server, Sevtech, or whatever you named yours. Alright, now here's where things start getting tricky. So if we go back to... Also, I have this here. I'm going to try and remember to put this in the description to kind of help you. So we're going to go back to your unRaid and open up the command line right here. Alright, now we're going to navigate to that server directory. So you do that by using the cd command, and then it's mnt, and if you press tab, it'll autofill. Also, it's case sensitive, so if you have a folder capitalized, like for me, I capitalize the servers folder. So if I was to not press S and do tab, it would find system. So make sure you're case sensitive on these commands. Then next, let's see, servers. Oh, and then Minecraft. and then servers. All right. So now we're in the servers things, and if I pull up our directory here and I go into servers, you can see that sevtech is right here, and it has these 3 basic files. Now if you go back into our thing here, into our command line, and what we want to do is if we do an ls-la, you'll see that on our sevtech folder, we don't have write permissions. We have to change that so that we can paste our files into that into the server folder, because right now it would give us a permission denied saying we don't have access. So to do that, we're going to do chmod -r, and then we want to do O+W, and then just a quote, and then we want to list out our directory, so mtn, and then instead of disk 1, you're going to put users here. Or maybe not. What the heck? You know what? I don't think there is any quotes. That's why it's not working. Yeah, okay. User, servers, Minecraft, and then we want servers again, and then sevtech. Now this -r basically makes it recursive, which means not only will we add write permission to this directory here, but it will apply to everything within the directory. So if you press enter and then do the ls-la again, you can see now that we have the W here for write permission. Also make sure we keep this as 1000 1000 because that's the ownership of the MineOS-Node. And we'll have to set our files to that later, but I'll show you that when we get to that. That's a little bit down the road. So now if we go into the directory, so cd, and then you just press tab. Actually, you don't need to do that. Forget I did that. All right, now go to wherever your server is stored. So I'm going to open up another file explorer here. Don't worry about that. All right, let's see. I have Minecraft servers, and then we're going to do sevtech. And I'm basically just going to go over here to sevtech, and I'm just going to copy and paste all of it. And then I will be back once that finishes. Alright, so if it brings up the replace the files, then just, yep, do that. And now everything's in here. So now we're going to go back in here, and if you just press the up arrow until we get to that command that we just did for the sevtech folder, we're going to do that again, because everything, actually no, everything should already be writable. Just do it again for good measure. So now what we want to do is we need to make sure that we set everything inside to this 1000 here. So do chown instead of mod, then do another -r so it applies to every file within this sevtech directory. And then we want to do 1000 and then a colon and then 1000 again. And then we want to have our directory, which is the same one as above. So user, whoops. All right. So now if we do cd and then just press tab, and you should have your server listed, go in there and now do an ls-la, you can see that everything in here now has the 1000 and 1000 tag here. All of these things in here don't really matter, because the only thing that really matters is that they're all writable, and since we copied them in there, they should be. These other dependencies here, or the permissions, were made when you made the server. It should be fine. So now that we've done that, we can go back into our MineOS web interface, and if you just press F5 to refresh it, and then go back in, and you can see at the front here, now it has the logo here, because if you look in my directory, I have a server icon.png. Whatever you make that, it will show up on your server here, which is kind of cool. So if you go in here and you click change runnable jar to, and you're going to want to select forge installer, no, not installer, sorry, universal.jar. And you can see that it updated my server.properties to 5 because that's what I have it set for the properties back. Over here, this is the memory allocation. I'm going to give myself like around 10 gigabytes. My server has 48 gigs, so I have plenty enough to allow 10,000 to it. It's in megabytes, so it's not an exact 10 gigs because it's weird, but it should be fine. Over here, there's a few settings. You can broadcast it to LAN, so you can connect via local host. Start server on boot basically means whenever the Docker boots up, the server will automatically start. I don't want that to happen because I'm not running the server at the very moment. I'm just kind of setting this up for future when I do want to play Minecraft. And pretty much everything else you don't need to worry about on here. Now, you can try and click start, but I will try and do start. But for me, it does not work because I have the wrong Java version. Different versions of Minecraft run on different versions of Java. So for me, Septec runs on 1.12.2, and 1.12.2 uses Java 1.8. Now, to be completely honest with you, I don't know what version of Java ships with MineOS, but whatever it is, it does not want to cooperate with my Forge at all. So this is the hardest part right here, finding out how to fix this part. So depending on what version of Java you have, or what version of Minecraft of the modded server you're trying to run, this part might be different from you in terms of what Java version you're installing. If you just look it up, because I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, I think 1.16 uses Java 16 now, and like 1.12 or before or something like that is Java 8. If you look it up, I'm sure you can find it. It's all over the net on what specific Java version you need. And then when we get to the step where we're installing the Java, you're just going to have to basically edit whatever your, instead of 8, 16, and so on and so forth. So now if we go back to our unRaid, and in the Docker, click this and click console, and it will bring up the console for our Docker. Now what you're going to want to type is you're going to type bin/bash. Alright, and then you should have a root at blah 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 blah, like that. And now, hopefully I have these in the description so you can copy and paste like I am. We're going to type this command here. Also, you can't Control and C and Control V in here. It'll give you just like that. So you have to right click and actually paste. So do that. And right now we're purging whatever Java is on here. So it says, do you want to continue? Actually, I'm going to click no real quick. This will list the version of Java we have. So it looks like MineOS ships with Java 16, which I guess that makes sense. That's why it was not working for me. So if you're using like a server that requires Java 16, it might just be working for you already. Now another thing to note, which as far as I'm aware, I don't think this is a thing because I saw other people complaining about this exact issue. Say, like we're doing now, we remove Java 16 and we put Java 8 on here to run our 1.12.2 server. If in the future we want to run a mod pack that needs Java 16, you will basically have to do this all again and re-put Java 16 back on here. Remove the Java 8. And so you're going to have to basically make sure you remember how to do this, because if you want to switch the mod pack version to a different, mod pack that's a higher version and needs different Java, you're going to have to do this procedure every time. It sucks, and I don't think there's a way around it. It's just the way it is. Anyways, so go ahead and type that first command here, and then do Y for yes, and it will start removing the Java on here, which is our Java 16. I'll pause and be back once it finishes. It didn't take long, actually. Other steps are longer. Anyways, next command, we're going to do apt-get update. And if you want to know kind of technically what that does, we're basically grabbing, I guess, these packages. And the reason we have to do that is there's a special command that we need to do to install Java, but it doesn't come with the MineOS. So we're putting it on there. Whoops. Here we are. All right. Nope. So we're going to paste this on here, apt-get install, and then this. And then we're just going to click yes. It's just basically saying after this, we're going to have 55 megs of additional disk. That's fine. We're just going to let this run. This part, I think, takes a couple of minutes, so I'll be back once it's finished. All right, it finished. It took like, 3 or 4 minutes. After that installs for you, you're going to have to pause the video while you wait. We're gonna do this next command. I really hope I remember to put this in the description. If I don't, you're gonna have to pause the video. It's gonna suck. But I'm gonna really try. Anyways, this is the next command. We're just gonna press enter to continue. And that doesn't take too long. Alright, that finished. Now we're gonna do an apt-get and then update again. Alright, now we're going to do, and now this is the command where it's going to be different based on you. Now, I'm not exactly sure. This is what the command looks like. If I had to guess and make an observation, I would assume that if you're trying to install Java 16, that you would just make this 16 instead of 8. I'm not 100% sure on that, and if it doesn't work, let me know in the comments, and I'll try and I'll see if I can find it. You might be able to just Google that command and find it, but I'm assuming 16 works. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments. But go ahead and press enter. It's going to ask if we want to continue. We're going to say yes. It's basically just saying it's going to be 683 megs. That's fine because it's installing Java for us. And I can't remember how long this takes, but I'm going to pause, and I think it's a couple minutes as well. It's still installing, but while it's installing, I'm going to take this time to mention a quick note and circle back to something I said before. I told you if you wanted to switch mod packs in the future to a version of Minecraft that needs a different version of Java, say for me, since I'm installing 8, maybe I needed to go back to 16, you won't have to do this command here. I don't think you'll have to do these two commands, because this is just the Alexa stop. Sorry. These are just the two commands to add the repository. Once you've added the repository, you shouldn't have to add it again. Now, if it doesn't work, then I guess do it. But you shouldn't have to do these two commands every time after you've done this initial thing here. Actually, even this one. So basically, it would just look like that. You would purge it, get the update, install basically whatever version, and you should be good to go. Alright, I'm going to pause again and be back when it finally finishes. Alright, it finished installing. Last step is basically just to check if it worked. So java-version, and you can see up here it says Java 1.8. So you can close out of this now, go back to our MineOS interface, and simply click Start and pray to the gods that we didn't screw up. And as you can see, it just switched to the up, which means the server is starting. Now, of course, it's a modded server. It's going to take a while to come up. If you come into here, you can see the log here. You'll get this message where it says it's been generating beyond the rate limit threshold. I don't know how to change the rate limit threshold. There might be a setting actually in the here maybe. Nope. Yeah, I don't know how to change that. So if you refresh the page, you might be able to. So you have to click the drop down and reselect it. Yeah, because modded really screws up the logs. But if you go into your actual SevTech folder here and click go to logs and latest, you're still able to view it here. Now, I'm not going to load up my Minecraft. I've already tested it and confirmed it worked. Now, if this is your first time trying to make or host a Minecraft server, once you're port forwarded, the IP to connect once you've loaded up your mod pack on your PC and for your friends as well. Basically, if you just go to ipchicken.com, that will show you what your external IP is, and it will basically be that IP and then colon 25565 or whatever port you have set for whichever server you're trying to run. In my case, we set it to 25565, so it'd be that IP colon and then the 25565. Now, if you guys have any problems with this, leave a comment and I will try and help you the best I can. I read every comment eventually, pretty quickly, so let me know. Hopefully, because this video has no views or anything, it isn't like lost amongst all of the other bull crap out there that really doesn't tell you how to do this at all. And hopefully you found this video and able to actually get this up and running, because this took me like 10 hours. Luckily, I was able to do this and pause, making it at only 28 minutes or so. But that's pretty much going to be it. Have questions or issues, leave it in the comments. Also, please don't criticize me. I'm not great at making tutorials. I know I've made some others on my channel and I've got blasted for them. I'm sorry. I hope that you are able to follow this good enough to get the server up and running, because at the end of the day, my tutorial making talent isn't what matters. It's getting the server up and running. Am I right? Alright. That's it. See ya.